We are live. It is 2:08 Central Standard Time, United States, 8:08 GMT in the UK. This is the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe.
Hey.
Coming to you live this second day of February. So for everybody who was doing the dry January, good news. You can do damp February or just drink in February. Oh, yeah, you heard it. That's what it's called now, damp. So that's if you drink a little bit.
I thought it was fucked up February.
You know what? I don't know. I didn't know. I thought it was dry November. What's this dry shit? I'm just like, now it's dry this and damp that. And it's like, just folks, look, I mean, that's nice. Here's the thing. If you can stop drinking for the entire month of January, but then back in February, you go back to drinking the way you normally do. If you drink and you have a problem, seek some help, I guess. Whatever. I don't know. I understand the damp. I don't know if it's the damp. So the damp is like where you drink you have a restricted amount. Like you don't go totally non-drinking, but you kind of go like maybe half. I don't know. So folks, and then Peter's in the chat. It's been yes, it has been a long time. So yes, we were running behind schedule. We're always late, but not 8 minutes late. We were a little slacking. So actually, we were having a chat prior to we were talking about the Premiership. And just looking at today's Premier League, look at today's matches. Joe's in a good mood. Arsenal beat Man City 5-1, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And if in case anybody else was paying attention, Crystal Palace beat Man United 2-0, and Tottenham beat Brentford 2-0. And there's another game here tomorrow. Looks like West Ham and Chelsea. That ought to be fun.
Yep.
It's at 2 p.m.
Should be a good one.
GMT, be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the scores. And so we look at the table for the Premier League. Looks like Joe's in pretty good shape. His Arsenal team is second right now, behind Liverpool and then Nottingham Forest this year, folks. You didn't know they're a thing. Who knew that was going to be a thing, right? I never really heard of them. So Nottingham Forest, man, coming up huge. They're third. Pretty good. 14-5-5. That's pretty good. That's not.
You noticed something about Forest, didn't you, this week?
I did.
They smashed Brighton.
Yeah, 7-0. That's. I don't know. I mean, I'm not exactly.
That is some scoreline.
Football soccer fan, but if you lose 7-0, I mean that's pretty good ass. That's an ass kick. Yeah, you got beat up pretty good. So that's interesting because you said that team's not a bad squad, right? They're a pretty good. Yeah,
I mean, Brighton aren't terrible, and it's quite a surprise that Nottingham Forest have been this consistent this season. Like, it really has.
Well, it's good. I mean, it's good that that's a team that usually isn't, in the top 5, right? I mean, that's pretty cool to see a kind of a newer team, right? We kind of like that when in football and baseball in the United States, when a team that traditionally isn't really that good or isn't a powerhouse has a really consistent season, they come out and they really do pretty well. It's kind of fun. I mean, I kind of like that. I don't like seeing the same, half dozen teams every year. It's kind of boring, right? I like to see some teams grow and get on a run and, get some momentum and, get some confidence and play pretty well and be competitive. That's pretty cool. They may not win everything, but so that's kind of cool to see Nottingham Forest.
Out of interest, where are you getting your info from, Sam? What website is it?
It's just MSN. Whenever I go and create a new tab, it's just the default on Edge, so I just leave it there. And and that's actually at work. It's the default too. It's just the MSN news. It's got all sorts of crap. I mean, and on the right side, I guess it says popular in my area. I don't really know if these are in my area, but it has Premier League, and then I have it broke down by because I've checked the scores before, so I guess I assume since I'm checking scores for Premiership, I assume that I'm paying attention to that. And then you got Champions League, so
I'll see what Scoop says. Do you understand what he's saying?
No, hold on. I am not. I'm trying to look at this. Okay. Forest with near Leicester City level overachieving. I don't know anything about Leicester City, so I don't know.
So they won the Premiership 1 year, right? Mm-hmm. And that is massively overachieving for them. They shouldn't have won it though, because Arsenal should have pushed a bit harder on them. But oh well. Story of being an Arsenal fan. And
then there's a UEFA, so I can switch at the top. I have like a little tab, so it has like MLS and Bundesliga, and then I have another tab for NFL and another tab for NHL and NBA and college basketball and stuff. So
what's going on.
I'm not on a VPN on my computer. Now I am on a VPN on my phones, which was kind of funny because that was kind of a The funny thing was, I saw an article. Actually, I didn't even see the article. It actually was on the radio. I listened to an AM radio station on the way up. KMOX. It's a local affiliate here in St. Louis. They do sports and news and traffic and stuff. So I'm listening to that in the morning, and they were talking about that people were selling on eBay phones that had TikTok loaded. Apparently, so what happened was after the TikTok ban happened, both the Play Store and Google Play, Apple and App Store, pulled the app. Now right now it's currently under a temporary pause by President Trump. I guess 75 days or whatever. So while they look for a buyer, divest, or whatever they're going to try to do. Anyway, that being said, the app hasn't been repopulated back into the stores for download. So a lot of people deleted off their Android and iPhones. They've deleted the app. Well,
now they can't get it back.
Now they can't get it back. So they were phones. Now some of them were like $20,000. I don't think that person actually got $20,000 or whatever. But I mean, there were people selling phones for $500 to $1,500 just because it already had. And I think it was more iPhone because remember, if you have an Android device, you can sideload TikTok. However, there was one little caveat. If you try to sideload it from like APK Mirror or an APK site and you're in the US, it will block the download.
You have to go to
for that. You have to use a VPN. And I changed my region to Australia or whatever, which is hilarious because then I forgot to change it back on my phone. And then I swiped over and to get my Google feed. And it was all these stories from like Brisbane and Melbourne and Sydney. I'm like, why am I getting all these Australian news outlets? I'm like, oh, that's right. I forgot I left the VPN on Sydney. Whoops. Anyway, so on my phone, I do that quite a bit. On my computer, not so much because honestly, when I'm on my computer, I don't really. If I do go on the internet or if I download anything, it's all sites I know. I don't use my. Yeah. I play World of Warcraft on this computer. It's pretty much what I do. And then,
what VPN do you use, Sam?
Surfshark.
There's so many Surfshark. Okay.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I think it seems like it works okay on the phone. It works pretty good actually. I think I paid for a one-time year. I don't remember what it was. I use it on my phone. It's pretty good. I like it. It's pretty handy. Again, I honestly, it's funny because I have it. I don't use it tremendously often because you do have issues.
Whole family can go on it, can't they?
Yeah, so they can. So the one cool thing
not sponsored by Surfshark, by the way, guys.
No, I'm not sponsored by anybody. Well, except for Extreme Skins, skin your shit. Maybe you should go check them out. Yep. And so anyway, no, I don't use one on my computer. I probably should, but anyway. So if you are a person who is an Android user, you're okay. You can just sideload the app. If you're on iOS, you're kind of stuck. There is no. Again, one of those kind of little, kind of Android things that iOS will never, ever let them happen, which I understand it's a security thing. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you're on Android, you're probably okay. You can sideload apps or whatever. And if you're on iOS, you're stuck. So, hey, good luck to you.
Do you think the UK will follow suit?
I don't think so. I don't think
we did with the whole Huawei ripping out 5G stuff, didn't we?
Right, but that was just for the telecommunications infrastructure. You can still get Huawei phones in the UK, right? It's not the phones that became the problem. In the United States, no Huawei.
No,
I mean,
just the
services, the whole shoot match. Right? Yeah. The UK just basically went along with the infrastructure because I guess and then also, but ZTE I think was probably part of that ban as well. And there is an alternative marketplace in the iOS, not in the US. Well, the problem is most of these people live in the US, dude, and the band's in the US, so
interesting. I never knew that.
So I didn't know that either. I'm not on iOS, and I don't sideload apps on the only iOS device I have is my work phone, and I can't use that for that reason.
Deep in the dark web.
So if you're Tor browser, if you know, you know. Anyway, so so I just found that was an interesting article that people were actually, selling phones, and I don't know if it's still a thing.
Madness.
I don't know if it's still a thing because I did look and see they looked inflated, but they weren't. Somebody said there was one on there for $20,000. I'm like, no, I don't know about that. Maybe the bid might have went for $20,000, but that's probably not what the person actually received. Because I guess.
So I'm interested if they're a creator, right, and they're earning money from it. Will the money still go into their banks, or?
That's a good question. I would assume that whatever, if you're on their creator stuff or you're getting a disbursement from, I'm assuming that maintains itself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I've never created a video on TikTok.
No blocks put in place.
Nor am I. Now, the Nomad Tech project, if we get really big, we might do it. But probably not. I've
so
had
a 10-year plan. 10-year plan,
yeah.
Sam.
Yeah, it's on our roadmap. It's on our roadmap. Anyway,
to get big one day.
Yeah, I actually I was looking at the metrics for, and I folks, for those of you, and just I'm going to kind of touch on this real quick. For those of you who are looking for the last two shows, the solo show that Scoop jumped on and it was 2.5 hours, and the Barry Johnson show, I just posted those a little while ago. It's been kind of a bonkers week around here, so I apologize. I usually try to be a lot more diligent about getting the audio shows posted with everything. So if you were looking for the audio podcast of this and you didn't see them for the last 2 weeks, honestly, I forgot about the solo show. I thought I had posted it. I just forgot about it. And when I'm on my podcast,
I said last week, didn't I?
I don't always look at our show. Sometimes I do just to kind of spot check it to make sure it looks okay. I just completely forgot that I posted it, or I didn't post it. I thought I had. So I was like, and Joe's like, hey, you didn't post the other show from New Year's Day or New Year. I was like, oh shit, I forgot all about it. So apologies to Scoop for getting that out super late. It was not on purpose. That was completely accidental. And it's because I'm an idiot and I forgot that I did not post it. So sorry about that.
On the flip side, for the people that listen to the audio only version, you're going to have a treat because you're going to have.
Yeah, you're going the one's 2.5 hours. So for that solo show, and the reason why it's so long is because it was such a great discussion, and Scoop is so knowledgeable. I actually, that show could have gone 4 hours. I really didn't want to cut it off because it was such a really good show. So if you're into photography and if you're a person like me that doesn't understand all the technical specificity of those kinds of things and cameras and hardware and discussions, and if you're into photography, that is a show that you might want to skip most of these shows just because we're talking about bollocks and stupid stuff, and we're also talking from people who aren't industry experts at anything really. It's a really great show, especially if you want to skip to like the last hour to the end of the show. That is a really good discussion with Scoop. It was a phenomenal show.
But if you do skip anything that I said, how dare you?
Right, and you can skip all of my shit always. You can just skip past most of it. I'm just saying. So, folks, for that upload, just when you see a 2.5 hour, I think it's like 2 hours and 37 minutes. You see that runtime? Yes, that's a long show. Yeah, I realize you might have to break that up into parts. I realize that that's the naughty list of the phone of podcasts, right? They usually say usually between an hour and maybe 45 minutes is maybe an hour is pushing it, but you want to keep them at half an hour. And we try to do that. But honestly, I guess it goes down to what we're trying to do is this for Joe and I, at least for me, I think I speak for Joe as well. This is just kind of a passion project. We're not trying to leverage this into anything crazy. We're not trying. I mean, we just basically, it's just two guys, one guy from the United States, one from the UK, just talking about phones and tech. And it's just because our wives don't want to listen to us talk about this stuff all the time. This just gives us an hour.
Definitely don't.
To basically, because my wife doesn't. I mean, she's sort of. Well, I take that back. She's only interested when something doesn't work, and I know how to do something, like when I had to fix the on her phone, on her iPhone. Which again, I'm gonna take another 2 minutes to rant about iOS and this absolute fucking stupidity. So if you have an iOS device and it's saved a network, a Wi-Fi network.
Oh, that's what you said last week, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm going to reiterate because maybe people aren't paying attention. it just pisses me off. So I'm going to maybe mention it every time because it's fucking stupid. And iOS should be ashamed of themselves. So if you have an issue with that network, and let's say you can't connect to that network for whatever reason, it's jacked up, you change the password, the configuration is fucked, IPv6, whatever you did, who knows? You fucked up in order to forget that network on an iOS device, you have to be able to connect to the network to forget it. The problem you run into is if you can't connect to the network, you can't forget it and it's stuck. So what I did was I went and reset my whole router. I reset all that shit, factory reset it. And then when it came up to SSID, that was the generic SSID that's assigned to the device, Becky was able to connect no problem. Then I tried to change the SSID to what she recognized and try to, reset it to the same password. Actually, I changed the password, but I try to have the same SSID. And what's hilarious is because the SSID is the same, and obviously the hardware and all the information about the router and the switch is the same. When I changed it to the SSID, I had right into the same problem because I couldn't connect to it. I couldn't forget it. So in order for me to get it set up on my wife's phone, I had to change the SSID completely to something else, and then act that way. Her phone thought it was a brand new network, even though it's the same goddamn network. And I was able to connect to it. That's how stupid it is. You cannot forget a network. Now, on a Windows computer, no problem. You can write, even if you're not connected to a network. I have a Wi-Fi network.
Surely,
you just right-click.
iPads aren't the same, and do you reckon it's the same on iPads?
I don't know. I don't have an iPad. If anybody has an iPad, you can test this out on your own. Obviously, on Android, you can just hold long press it, and then you can forget the network. But on an iOS device, you cannot forget a network unless you're connected to it, and that's the stupidest fucking design in the history of design. And if you're an IT professional or a network professional, that shit will drive you absolutely bonkers. It pissed me off, and so fuck Apple when it comes to that function. They need to change that. They need to allow iOS needs to forget a network that it's not connected to, because if you run into that problem, you're stuck.
I'm still dumbfounded that's a thing.
I didn't know it was a thing either until I figured it out. And then and then I tried to just do the factory reset the network settings on the phone, and that didn't work. So the only other solution on iOS is just factory reset the whole device. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that. You shouldn't have to factory reset a device when you're just trying to forget a network. The fact that iOS doesn't let you do it is fucking stupid, and shame on Apple. And you should fix that like yesterday. Rant over anyway.
Apple, are you listening?
And if you're not listening, change that, because that's stupid shit. Eric, the tech preacher, is in the chat. Welcome. What is up, my friend? Thank you very much for joining us early. We appreciate you as always. And Eric, again, he's one of my favorite. Actually, Eric, I started listening to Eric back in the days when he was doing his Windows Phone. He was one of my Windows Phone go-tos. So it was Juan and him, and really Juan and him. Those are the two people. And then obviously, Daniel Rubino and Litchfield, and Daniel Rubino and Zach Bode. So those are my groups of people when I was really into Windows Phone. I was listening to it, and Eric was one of those guys that I really I discovered a long time ago, and have followed ever since. He's one of my favorite preachers. I'm one of my favorite podcasters and one of the creators, and I love the Get Your Popcorn Ready. I love his energy. I love the fact he's from New Orleans, his attitude. He lets it rip. He's dedicated to his brands. He loves those kind of things. And when he does his shows, same thing with Barry, same thing with Gigi, same thing with Scoop and all those folks. You can tell they do that, and they really, it's enjoyable. And sometimes it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be have a perfect opinion or all the things. It's just they really bring a lot of good energy and a lot of good fun. Their shows, their shows are fun, and they're energetic, and they're a blast. And I have never met any of those persons on people in real life, and it doesn't matter because it feels like I kind of know them, even though we've never met in person. Although I think they were going to have some kind of get together maybe in Atlanta or something, and if they do, I might try to get down there because I would love to meet some of these folks in person. They're some of my favorite people.
Oh yeah, I'd love to meet them. Yeah,
it'd be great. So and so if you ever get a chance, go check him out. He is the tech preacher. Obviously, if anybody's in this chat, most of the people who follow our show, and if you're not listening to Eric or follow his channel, shame on you. You should be. And
I think everyone who listens to us definitely listens.
Right. And I just, and Michael Peppertech is obviously in the chat. Hola, ¿cómo están? We're okay. I'm pretty good actually today. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Well, I forgot to tell everybody. I had some surgery done on my head back on Thursday. So I have on top of I have what's called pilar cysts. They're little kind of benign little. Yeah, they grew. And my mom used to get them, but she used to get one on her eyes, like right at her tear duct, and then she would get another one on the kind of behind her ear. They're just little. Well, I had them on my scalp, and I've had them for years. I actually had them removed one time, but they grew back, and so this time around they had to remove them, and they had to take the sack, and it required stitches. So, which is cool because for like the first two, I didn't post the picture. I should have. I had to wear like this. It looks like a skull cap, like a toque or like a beanie, but it's actually like medical gauze. It's really great.
Because it look like LEG.
Well, yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm from Steins, right? Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not. Anyway, so I had to wear that
Wicked.
to work and stuff. Wicked. Right. Yeah, LEG is one. Anyway, so that's why I have a hat on. So I have to wear the stitches come out in a couple of weeks, and then I have to put like Vaseline Aquaforce in a pad, a gauze pad, and just have to keep it in place.
Do you know what made me say it though, Sam? You've got like glasses on. LEG has glasses, then you've got kind of the same sort of LEG.
Right. I think I need an LEG. Wicked. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Boom shock.
I can see it.
I can do it. And I said, yeah.
I reckon.
Anyway, so if you are, and also if you're looking for good stuff, and swing on by Michael Pepper. I know he's got some good stuff going on. Eric, Tech Preacher, Barry Johnson, all those folks, all the channels. Although Barry's starting to turn into this more photography. So if that's your jam, and you want another really good engineer and a great voice, and you want to listen to it, go check them out. They're always at anything we can do to help support those creators, people that I listen to that I'm fans of. Go check them out. Also, if you're looking for skins, go check that out too. extremeskins.co.uk. Go check them out. They got a bunch of stuff. They got all sorts of colors, and they ship worldwide. So even if you're not in the UK, if you're happen to be in Hungary or the US, get them now before Trump puts tariffs on skins. Just saying. That might happen. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so check them out. Tell them we sent you. Hashtag skid in your shit. And go check them out and tell them we sent you, and they'll take care of you. They get good quality stuff. They last forever. I mean, hell, I still got my skins on my Duo.
I'm not sure they're aware of the skin your shit thing, so maybe not mention that part.
Yeah, you don't mention the skin your shit part. But like I said, I mean, that's what I got on my Duo. All right, and I've had them on for. I mean, I've used this device pretty often, and I've had it on here for a long time, and there is like no damage. Like it doesn't come off the sides. It's really good. It's good quality stuff. Check them out. Let them know.
You can actually take them off and reapply. I wouldn't do it myself, but apparently you can.
I've never done that.
There's up to 50% off at the moment. There's 3 hours left. Up to 50% off.
So yeah, so if you're in the mood and you want to go out there and you want to get that done, go check them out. So anyway, let's see. Michael C is in chat. Good. He's always one of my favorite. Michael Carter. He is always in the chat. I'm so frustrated. Microsoft forcing Copilot on the Office and anything. Well, of course. Yeah, Microsoft. I mean, anybody. It's a shame because this is just as a customer. This is the kind of shit. If you want to add Copilot, that's fine. If you want to embed it into your Office product, that's cool. But to make people pay for it, and just don't do it. And he also recommends, if you want a workaround, I'm not gonna say it on the audio because I just don't want any heat from any of those people. But if you're looking at the chat, you'll see it. Check that out. If you want to work around, if you're not really feeling that whole thing. Not to mention, given only one OS update on the Duo. Yeah, I mean. That Duo project, again, really kind of like that thing was fucked from the start, only because the whole point of that was to put a Windows version on that device. Remember the Neo, right? So you had the Neo version, right? And that was supposed to be a Windows on ARM, Windows Lite, kind of a 10x build, and then that got shelved. And then they wanted to try to do it, but maybe have an APK or an Android subsystem or substrate where they could run Android apps on a Windows platform. That didn't go well. I think that's even been removed. I think the Windows, the Android substrate for Windows, I think that got removed. So again, it's one of those things where, going back to Microsoft's stupidity, they should have been able, and they should have really pushed the Windows Phone platform. I think if they really would have put a lot of energy behind it and really would have marketed it better and tried to find a way, maybe they still would have failed. It's very possible that we would be in this situation, but Microsoft, just as a consumer company, does not at all do it right. They consistently fuck up every single thing when it comes to a consumer-facing. Dude, it's. I mean, these people, you would think that this is a large $1 trillion company, that they would have teams of people in there who weren't complete morons about how to do consumer products, right? Not enterprise. I'm talking not business. I'm talking but they every single time it's like if you could pick two paths and the one path is going to blow up, Microsoft, when it comes to their consumer division, consistently leans into absolute utter stupidity. To the point where now is if you're a customer and Microsoft came up with anything, if you buy another Microsoft consumer facing product now, other than maybe a Surface, if you're into that, you're stupid. And you're basically begging for failure because Microsoft is not going to support it. They're going to back off. I mean, fucking Band, Duo, Windows Phone, Zune, all good products. The Band 2. I had that Microsoft Band 2. It wasn't the most comfortable thing because of the flat screen. You know, I wish it was more kind of like this. This would have been, you know, the
bit chunky though. Like
it was a bit chunky,
yeah.
And of course there were some problems with people had the bands breaking. But as far as like the Microsoft Band, I liked using it. I had no problem. That was my first wearable, but it's like they can't, and the Zune. And I realize that now the Zune probably would be gone because nobody really uses an iPod anymore. So I completely understand the market would have shifted on it. But man, the Zune was really cool. Like, and it had the Metro UI, had music, and you had media, and you had pictures, and you had, dude, it was just cool. Anybody who owned a Zune was just cool. It was a cool little piece of hardware. And Microsoft just every single time, man, just cannot seem to get their head out of their ass when it comes to a consumer product division. I don't understand it. Anyway, holy crap, I didn't think that was going to devolve into a Microsoft rant. And here's the thing, everybody says, well, you know, you're a Microsoft fanboy. I'm like, yeah, and they piss me off constantly. I really wish
been burned by them.
I've been burned by them literally at least a half dozen times on some. I want their stuff. I want one consumer-facing thing that isn't enterprise to work. And it doesn't. It just does't. And then
what do you think is the fundamental reason why? Is it one reason or different reasons? Or
it's because Microsoft doesn't understand what an ad budget is. They don't advertise anything ever, nothing. I mean, they don't have. I mean, and they don't have to. If you again, they're in an enterprise market, so again, you know, people are using Windows computers or Windows servers or whatever. And here's the funny thing. So even in the cloud space, right? You have Microsoft Azure, right? So you've got, you know, Google's got a cloud-facing service. You got Amazon AWS, right? And then you've got Microsoft Azure. I don't know any current professional unit or organization that's using Azure. They're all using. I mean, Microsoft has a cloud program, right? But nobody's running it. And then on top of that, you've got AWS. I mean, Netflix and all that stuff. It's like even on their own cloud platform, they still don't tell anybody about it. It's basically AWS, Amazon. Amazon has put money and energy and time into reaching out to these companies, and a lot of these companies they're getting rid of their data centers and are switching to an AWS cloud. Personally, I think it should be a hybrid situation. I think you should still have some on-prem data centers and you should still in cloud services. But again, nobody knows about Azure because Microsoft doesn't tell anybody about it. But they do not do a good job of communicating to the customers about what's available. Like the Surface. I mean, have you ever seen a Surface commercial? You might see them occasionally, maybe a print ad, maybe
I've probably seen them more advertised by Snapdragon than I have by Microsoft.
Right. It's just like they just don't do that. And I just don't understand why. And if you don't tell people that a product exists, I mean, Duo would have been a successful product even with marketing. Probably not, because I think the 2-screen dual format phone thing people aren't ready for that yet. And maybe they'll never be ready for it just because of the way it's set up. But I mean, they didn't even try. I mean, they literally just put it out there.
The thing with that, Sam, like, I don't know if it really was meant to be a consumer product or not. I don't know. It's like, because
no, I mean, yeah. But I mean, again, okay. So let's say that's true. Maybe it wasn't a consumer. Maybe it was focused on enterprise and business. Nobody in business. They're all buying iPhones. So I don't know what company you sell these fucking things to, and also selling to them what for $1,500 a pop.
Yeah.
They're not buying that shit. I mean, nobody's buying this. Not in an enterprise space, not in a consumer space. It's just like, fucking stupid. It's just, again,
only tech enthusiasts are buying it.
Yeah, and yeah, people like me who, you know, and like I said, I don't know. Who knows? Oh man, Michael is on a roll today. We should have him on the show. He is giving a lot of.
Yeah, we should. He was always got some great stuff.
Yeah,
I read that already. Yeah.
So I don't know anything about the story. So hopefully I can look into it. So apparently Google 4A users giving them 2 days and breaking their phone. So I guess it was they pushed a software update, they bricked them, or it's a 4A.
For a start, 2 days notice is not enough. And
not at all.
If you're going to do that shit to people, you need to disclose why, explain why, and you need to offer them.
Officially, as a man without a country, I hate all phone companies now. I guess that's all the OnePlus is pissing me. Yeah, I get it, man. I mean, it's really hard to and to stay loyal to these companies now. I just the way they treat consumers is pretty crappy. Waiting for being scanned for the OnePlus 13. Oh yeah, okay. I hadn't checked. I thought they would maybe.
They will do them. They do
will
tend to do
them.
OnePlus. Yeah,
They do
let's check on
OnePlus
their website now.
But I think sometimes I think on the OnePluses they may be a little delayed, which is kind of a shame.
They tend to be.
Well, obviously for the Samsung stuff and then obviously the Apple stuff, they definitely have those ahead of time. And I think it might be because maybe it's possible they may get the models ahead of time. They kind of know how to make the skins, but I don't know. Oh yeah, the HD DVD. Oh yeah, but what's funny is, yeah, I actually had a few HD DVDs. Actually, it's kind of like, when it comes to those, there's always one standard and there's another. Like, remember back when I was a kid, there was VHS and they had Betamax, right? And the Betamaxes probably were more technically better, but of course it didn't take off. So VHS won that war, and then we came to Blu-ray and HD DVD. I don't know if there was a lot of difference between both formats. I think it was just who supported the format. But I remember having I still have it somewhere, and I can't remember what movie it is, but I do have an HD DVD that is there. Blackmagic updated their app for Android, added some new features. Yeah, so Blackmagic, that's cool. Yeah, and so if you're into gaming phones, and I'm not, I don't game on my phones, but I did Blackmagic? Have they been making? I hear about the Red Magics, right? Wait, maybe this might be. Am I thinking of two different things? I'm thinking of I thought
you are Blackmagic. You know what Blackmagic is, right?
No, I don't. Obviously, because I'm a moron. Because I thought it was the Xiaomi gaming phone. I have no idea.
No, it's not. No, they make they make cameras, but they have apps as well.
Is it like a software, like editing software or something like that, or is it actually using it to make the actually?
Google it. Google Blackmagic. You'll see. You'll see.
Oh, you're gonna GTS me, you fucker. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. It's a song by Little Mix.
Do it live on air, right? And let's pop it on the screen.
Blackmagic. Okay. It is a high-end digital film controls and image processing. Okay. Blackmagic camera unlocks the power of your iPhone, iPad, and Blackmagic design. Well, there's a couple of different Googles. I Googled it. Blackmagic camera. Okay.
They do quite a bit of stuff. Yeah.
So that's what this is. Okay. So here, folks, for those of you just joining us, there we go. So that's Blackmagic. Introducing digital film for iPhone. Okay. Well, it's good. Well, at least there are throwing some support behind Android. That's kind of nice to see. I know a lot of companies don't do that. What else we got here? So Hollywood look. Okay. Okay, so it's like a camera interface and a camera app. Okay. I'm sure.
So you can really dial in, sort of.
Okay. Oh, they got all sorts of. Oh, they got some. Oh, they got some
video.
Stuff going on.
Yeah.
Oh, they got some stuff going on. They got some encoding and streaming. You got some disc. Okay.
They do a lot. They're not cheap though.
Well, you didn't think it was free? Nope. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So they got cameras.
VHDs,
holy shit! 15 grand.
Blackmagic fan.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, you got a media module. Okay. Yeah. So, folks, if you're, this is some DaVinci Resolve. You get that with this. Some of these cameras are kind of priced, about $6 grand. Okay.
Cheap.
Yeah. Here's a 6K camera for 2,500. Wow. Okay. All right. So, So I get you. Okay. Good. That's cool. It's a recording app, but you can. Okay, cool. So it says it's a recording app. You also remotely control it, so you can use it to your phone, record. Okay, yeah, and that's cool. I didn't know it was a thing. Again, whoa, that's got really weird. I gotta change that back. Sorry about that. Okay, that's cool. Well, I'm just happy to see at least they're because I know a lot of times when it comes to iOS, the developers are always a lot more eager because it's one platform. The development for iOS is always more robust. A lot of these companies don't really keep up with their Android platform stuff. It's good. It's good to see. Yeah, we should. We'll reach out. Yeah, we'll reach out and let you get a OnePlus 13 on the streams because I know they usually a lot of times, and I tell people too, is if you email the company, if you go to their website and send them an email and tell them, hey, you're interested in a release date for a OnePlus 13. That usually, if they get enough emails from those folks and they start to see that people are generating some kind of buzz about it, they might move on it quicker. Or
you have to bear with them because they're they're quite a small team still, but yeah, they'll get it done.
Yeah.
Potentially.
So yeah, okay. So that's cool. PAL. Oh, I remember what PAL is. So I guess it is a PAL region. Okay, wait.
PAL.
What was that again? I can't remember.
Look it up, pal.
I am PAL. I forgot what that was for.
So this week, while you're looking it up, I went to a Samsung backstage event.
So where was this? Was it local to where? Did you have to drive? How far was it? Was it pretty local to where you lived?
It was in London. So my day off, thankfully. So I went into London for it. Two of my team came along as well. It was quite cool. It was so backstage is like an application, like a training application that they use. So all the different brands that sell Samsung devices can download backstage and learn about devices. But they sometimes hold events. And now, often they're for what you call Samsung Elite, but they allowed anyone who works at the business to sign up and go. So that's why I went, and it was quite cool. I got to play with the audio eraser thing. I don't know what they call it actually. It's not audio eraser, but the eraser thing on video.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Max,
their
audio eraser. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So whatever they call it, like audio wiper or whatever. Okay. That's so. Does it work okay?
Pretty good. Yeah, really good. I mean, what's good about it? So obviously the Google one's pretty good, but this one does seem better in the sense that it gives you up to 6 different options that you can delete. So like the one I did, it had music, it had a voice, had a couple of other options as well that it picked up different things. So yeah, it was quite cool playing with that and seeing what the results were. It was pretty decent. It wasn't quite impressive, considering it's just there on device. Bang, pretty quickly does it. I was impressed. Very impressed.
I know they're trying to have the same. I know there's some call screening features. Yeah. Well,
you read that as well.
Yeah, I did. Peter, it's like he's it's fine. But it seems like I don't know. I've heard a lot of pretty good feedback about One UI 7.
Yeah, I have as well. Yeah.
Did you get a chance to really look at the interface as far as
That's the thing. I didn't get much hands on.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Sam. We go there. There's a bit of food going on. Like people coming around with food, and there's you get 5 drink tokens. That's why I went.
Yeah, got some hors d'oeuvres and 5 drink tokens. Hell, I would go too for the booze. That's cool.
It's a night out.
I just noticed that people are really. I think they're having the same kind of response to the Samsung as they did with the iPhone 16. It's kind of like, okay, it's iterative. It doesn't move the needle. I mean, like I said, I cannot think of anybody who's giving a review. And a lot of our favorite people like Flossie Carter, and I'm sure other people, obviously have reviewed the phone. Adam Matlock and Shane and all those other folks. But it seems like if you have an S24 Ultra, unless you're really itching to get the newest, greatest, Snapdragon Elite or whatever. And this has nothing to do with the Bluetooth stuff being removed, which I mean, I guess if it cost them a bunch of money or it took a lot of development time, I can understand why they removed it because they claim only 1% of people are using it. But if it wasn't really costing you any money, it wasn't that big of a deal. You just built it into the stack when you're building out the OS. Like, who gives a shit? Why take it out? I mean, if you save maybe $20 on a unit, I don't understand. I mean, because remember, did they actually change the physical S Pen hardware, or just take the Bluetooth capability out of the software stack and doesn't support Bluetooth capability? I don't know. I mean, I tell you, if you are deploying an S Pen, having those features like the shutter, I think was pretty. I can tell you that's the only reason. I think that's the only reason my daughter ever took the goddamn S Pen out was because if she had the phone popped up, she can just kind of. There's ways around that. You can do hand gestures, or you can set it in a 3-second or 5-second timer.
But Sam, apparently you can buy a Bluetooth version still.
Yeah, I'm sure you can, but I think on the phone itself, I don't think there's any capability to make that functionality in the UI and the software work.
No,
So you might have a Bluetooth S Pen, but if there's no settings to make it work, like if you can't.
So Peter said here they've removed the battery.
They remove the battery on the pen. Okay. Well, how much? I wonder how much. I'm wondering why. Is it just? Excuse me. Is it because?
I don't know.
Is it because they saved a couple of bucks and they can remove it and they decide, well, hey, why are we spending money on putting a battery in an S Pen and making it Bluetooth ready if only 1% of people are using it? Or was there something else going on? Like, I don't understand. I mean, they didn't really explain why they took it out of there. And if there are cost saving, I mean, I guess you figure it's pretty good savings if you figure you take it out of all those devices. But it's only one line out of the 3 phones, right? Well, technically 4 if you count the Edge or the whatever, the Slim, whatever the fuck thing it is.
Oh, yeah.
But that just goes to tell you that if it had to do with that, only one of the 3 phones had an S Pen, right? The S25 Plus and the S25 don't. None of them do. So it was really only one phone. And so that means to tell me that if they took it out for cost savings, that means they must acknowledge that they're selling all the Ultras and they're really not selling the S25 Pluses and the S25s. And here we are again. It's like, okay, if you have an S24 and S24 Plus, I cannot imagine a scenario where you would want to upgrade unless you get a great trade, unless they give you the phone for damn near free. If they give you the phone for like $150 or $200 after trade-in.
In Europe, though, Sam, remember the 24 Plus and 24 had Exynos? So they may, if they want that bit more beefier 8 Elite.
I guess, but I mean, I guess was the Exynos, was the battery life? And
I heard it was decent. To be fair,
so much.
I heard it weren't
worse.
Bad. I heard it was a lot better last year's Exynos. Because Dan picked up a 24 Plus for a little while and he loved that thing. So, and he's not a massive Samsung fan, so that says a lot.
I get it, and it's one less point of failure. But how much failure point were you getting on a Bluetooth S Pen?
I never.
I'm curious. I'm curious how many people had an S24 Ultra, an S23 Ultra that had a warranty repair because their Bluetooth S Pen blew up or failed. I mean, if I know it's one less point of failure, but if it's a failure point that doesn't have any kind of actual noticeable, tangible warranty situations, I don't know why you'd mess with it. I don't know. I'm curious why they really did, because just the fact that less than 1% of people used it, I don't think that's, unless they saved money, why not just keep using them? But whatever. I don't give a shit because it didn't really matter to me. That if I were looking to upgrade, like I had an S22 or an S21 Plus or something, or if I had an S22 Ultra and I want to get the S1, I would, and if I was still in the market for an S25 Ultra device, I think I would do that regardless of the fact that it didn't have Bluetooth. I think I'd be okay.
Yeah.
But
Sam, how are you finding having a Duo 2 again?
I missed it. And I don't remember. I remember I won that No Rev, that really nice leather case from.
Yeah. That was
I cannot find it. I think I put it in my closet. I got to start looking for it because. But dude, it's a lot of fun, and it's funny because I think, I guess Shane was listening to me because I think 3 or 4 days ago he posted using a Duo 2 in 2025. I will notice that on my OG Duo and the battery life has been I don't remember the battery being this bad on when I had the Duo, the Surface Duo, when I got my upgraded unit. It wasn't great, but I don't remember it really is not good. And I'm curious if that's just because I didn't have the same kind of the software. I'm not sure. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy. I mean, that's where my sim is today because I've been futzing with it.
Sim in? Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I've been using it. Oh dude, I'm telling you, man, I'm one of those few people that actually uses a Duo and a Duo 2. But back in the day, this was my primary device. Like when I had the first original OG Duo before I got the upgrade for that 16 or 18 months, whatever, I had my sim in a Surface Duo, original Surface Duo, literally for almost a year and a half. That was my phone. That was my primary phone. And I agree with Juan. Phone-wise, not really good to use. Not very ergonomic. Obviously, if you're holding it a little wider, you start getting hand fatigue after but when you compare it to using the original Duo, this one has the 888. It's got the 8 gigs of RAM. It's 90 hertz refresh. It's got 5G. It's got NFC. It was a year-to-year upgrade. If phones did this upgrade from this device, going from this thing, right, to this thing, right, this hardware and software-wise compared to this is night and day. That's why I liked what Pixel did. Right, I like the original.
Okay, I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, Pixel did the same thing, man. It's not iterative at all. The new Pixel 9 Fold Pro Fold is way better, and almost everything.
The Fold Pro 9, blah blah blah, to the 10 will be iterative.
Oh yeah,
it'll be like very minimal sort of.
Right, but I think and the only thing the only thing I don't like, and you point this out, is the
bump,
because you got that gap. That's
pros and cons with that though, because you got a better camera.
You got a better camera. And then when I say better, the hardware is better. But honestly, if you're using this thing and you have to take a picture with it or take a video with it, even if you're taking video, if you don't have a Gcam port, you're I
was going to say Gcam, that bad boy, you'd be all right.
Yeah, and so yeah, and I don't think it does. I don't know. I don't even know anybody who has Verizon. I'm curious if it does. It might. All I know is whenever I put my SIM in it, I do get the little warning from AT&T. This is not a supported device. It works fine, but I get a text message from AT&T that says that the phone is not supported. I'm like, I don't give a shit if it's not. It still works. And so, yeah. I mean, it's again. I think the only thing I run into is the obviously the battery is a problem, and then also I as much as I try to use SwiftKey, I struggle with SwiftKey. I know it's a lot of people really prefer SwiftKey keyboards on their phones. I've always struggled with SwiftKey as far as and here's what it is because a lot of times the voice to text on SwiftKey it's different than it is on a Gboard. There's a button. It's a lot easier to use voice to text, and it's a lot of times if I'm driving, I'm responding to a text message. It's a lot easier to use it on Gboard. And I think it does a better with swipe text prediction. I think I struggle a lot with the SwiftKey about having to back up, and it's like I don't feel as comfortable with using SwiftKey on any device, much less the Duo. So that's the only thing I usually change is going to two things. I use the Gcam port, and then I also use the Gboard app on my Duo. But I like it. I mean, again. I'm one of those people who is kind of, I like what I like, and it using the Duo has never been a problem. Having the phone have to open it up and use it more deliberately, I've never had a problem with this. It works perfectly fine. I like having it. I guess I'm one of the few people on earth who really prefer the Duo. I think when it came to a foldable, this was a better solution than having the foldable devices, just because you don't have to worry about points of failure. The screen won't crack after 1,500 folds because it's two independent screens.
The durability issue for me is not there. Like I'm more confident using a Duo, which is a shame because I would love to have seen upgraded versions. Would love.
Yeah, I knew Microsoft wasn't going to do it, and it's a shame.
It's a crying shame.
Yeah, and they should have made a Surface phone. Oh yeah, using Elite 8 and have it run Android, but Windows on ARM and connected to a monitor. But oh yeah, if you like a Surface Uno, that would be cool. They talked about it. They were going to make a Surface phone, right? A Surface Uno and a Surface Duo, but can you imagine having a Neo, a Surface Duo 2, right? And you have your Neo at home. That's your iPad. That's your larger form factor, but then you take your Surface computer, and then you actually have a Duo or an Uno, right? You have your Surface Uno, Duo, Neo, Surface Pro, right? And you have an all Surface line, right? I'm saying you could have made its own. You could made it all that, and the Surface Pen works on all devices, right? The Neo, Duo, Uno. You have a regular phone that connects directly seamlessly to all the services. You just plug it into a monitor. Plug it into whatever. It would have its own software that would share between the devices. So if you were doing something on your Surface and you want to drag and drop, I mean, Microsoft really could have made it and had a suite of services, right? It had a suite of hardware devices that would have competed against. It would have been cool. And then have it where it ran Android, But if you had it dual boot into a Windows on ARM, where if you needed to use a Windows, you had a Windows on ARM, you had a stripped down version of Windows 11 or a pretty decent version of Windows 11 where you had all your capability. I think where it could, and also if it was a Surface on ARM device that can run x86, if it could run regular executable programs, dude, that would have been game changing, because then you don't need to even carry a computer anymore. Right? If you have a phone that you can run Android apps, and then if you needed productivity, or if you needed to leverage into running one of your legacy applications on x86, or if you wanted to emulate that and sandbox it, right? It had enough dedicated separate RAM where it could sandbox and virtualize a Windows environment for you, and you could run that on a monitor. It had all your computing needs right there for most computer needs, for most people. Miracast or wirelessly casting Windows on ARM. Yeah, you could have done that too. I mean, there's ways you could have made this work. Again, Microsoft has a problem with their consumer software and hardware divisions. It's always been an enterprise company, and that's the way it's going to stay. But I mean, they could have really. I knew when they killed the Neo, Surface Duo wasn't long for the world. I never ever thought they were going to make a 3. I just knew they weren't. I said once the Surface Duo came out and the Duo 2 came out, they weren't getting enough energy, and then just basically Microsoft restructured. They were just like, yeah, fuck it, we're not doing this anymore, which is a real shame, because I think there might have been potential there to at least explore it, and Microsoft has enough money. They could have tried to make it work. I think they could have made it at least, and maybe don't have to make a bunch of units, make maybe 100,000, and see how it goes. But
yeah,
I don't know. It had to have something more. Folks, we need to dislodge the situation where it's just everything is like, well, I just use an iPhone because it works. I wish that Android and when other manufacturers could offer people computing and productivity and entertainment solutions in a mobile computing space that wasn't just iOS. Like, oh well, and you could make it work, but one manufacturer like Samsung, you had to basically go all in, right? You had to get a situation where you buy a Samsung tablet, you buy a Samsung earbud, you have a Samsung phone, you have Samsung TVs, right? If you're an idiot and you have Samsung appliances, sorry folks, if you own a Samsung appliance, you're asking for trouble. They're shit. I love their consumer products division. I love their phones, displays, everything Samsung. Samsung appliances are hot crap, and if you have one, you're going to ask for trouble. It's a shame because LG tried to do it with the ThinQ situation, right? They tried to do it with their computers and their LG phones and their appliances, and they all have ThinQ, and that was kind of cool, where you can all interconnect them all. That was pretty cool. But at the end of the day, it just really kind of depresses me, just because I think Microsoft really could have done a lot better job of marketing and really pushing these things, and I think that they just figured,
missed the trick.
Well, they just didn't. They don't ever prioritize that, and I don't understand why. They act like they don't have to. And then again, the Pixel lineup. Finally, when Google decided to actually tell people that Pixel phones exists, right? They have Pixel phones, and now they're selling decently well.
Yeah,
they're selling decently well. And yeah, DT, I'm sorry. I tried to put out a post earlier on Twix about us going off an hour early. Sorry about that if you didn't miss it. I don't know.
I did put it on Twitter.
Okay, so yeah, we did go. We went 1 hour early at DT. I'm sorry. So it wasn't to basically get it under the radar and have you not show up. We always love having you on. So yes, we did go off an hour. We did go off an hour early today. So
Sam's fault.
My fault. And Mike's in the chat. We need to get Mike on too. So sometime. I know he's a very busy chap, family and busy and work and stuff. But we'd like to have Mike on again. So if he has some free time, that's anyone's still on Twitter. Yeah, basically we have a presence there. I'm not on Twitter a lot.
Twix.
I don't do stuff on Twix. It's not because of Elon or Doge or his inner. I don't care about none of that shit.
We would message on our MeWe, but no one's on there.
Yeah, I don't even go on the MeWe very often. It's just bad. I quit Twitter a few months ago. Sorry, lads. Hope we're doing good. Yes, we are doing good. Unfortunately, we don't have. I mean, other than the Twix and the MeWe, I don't really have a way to get everybody.
What platform would people like? Let us know.
Right. Yeah. If you're not feeling the Twix thing and the YouTube thing, I don't know how I would do it on YouTube. I guess I could put it on our channel. I don't know how to do that. I don't know. So if there's any way to let most people know if we are going to make
let us know what platform
change, like if we're going to go on early or if we're not going to, or if we're not like next week is Super Bowl Sunday. I have to work during the day next Sunday. I could give a shit less. I don't care about the Eagles or the Chiefs. I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and I'm not an Eagles fan. I could give a crap about it. So this might be. I'm not going to really watch the Super Bowl. I'm not going to really do anything with that. But it will be. But I will get it. I'll be getting off work around 4, and then I have to drive home. So probably, unless we go off next Saturday, probably we won't have a show. Not because of Super Bowl Sunday, folks. Please, I love football. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I'm wearing a Chicago Bears hat. I love NFL football. However, these two teams I could give two fucks about.
That's okay because I'll be pretty knackered anyway. I am meeting up with Dan and Mac in York next Sunday.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're going to go photography walk.
If we have a show, we probably won't because if we don't have a guest lined up. So chances are next week we'll probably have a gap, but you'll have this show. You'll have 2 other episodes to listen to. So, folks, just so we know, it's not because of Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not having a show because of that. And it was, besides, it's like fucking 5:13 in the evening. We would have been way done on our show. Had nothing to do with it. And go Chiefs, fuck them. Fuck the Chiefs. No, and to be fair, oh yeah, okay, real quick, we'll talk about that real sec. It's not because I don't like the Chiefs. The team, they're really good. They're really well coached. Andy Reid's great. Steve Spagnuolo's great. Right, their quarterback is awesome.
Chiefs fans you don't like, isn't it?
It's the fucking fan base sucks. Chiefs fans are insufferable. They need to calm the fuck down. You guys haven't been that great forever. You aren't okay. You guys have been good the last 6 years. Enjoy what I'm saying. Again, I'm not saying you should enjoy it. If the Bears are that good, they'll never be that good. Bears will never have a dynasty. They can't pull it off. Even when they had in the early 80s, when they had Walter Payton and the 46 defense and shit, they were only good for about 5 years, and then that went what? But Chiefs fans, they act like they've been good for the last 25 years, and they've been really good for the last 5. Before that, in the mid 90s and the early 90s, because I have had friends who are Chiefs fans, the fucking Chiefs were terrible. They were the bottom of the AFC. They were shit, and they know it. And and the Bears suck. Oh yeah, and see, here's the thing. I can take that feedback, Scoop, because the Bears do suck. McCaskey sucks, and the front office blows, and they always find ways to lose. I'm not a supporting of that family at all. So, see, that's what real Bears fans are. We can take the fact that we suck, and we are okay with it. And I know where the suckage comes from. It's the culture of that organization that sucks. So I get it. Talk to a Chiefs fan, tell them they haven't 10 years ago they were shit, and watch how fucking vehemently stupid. They're like Cowboys fans. They get all pissed off. You fuck Cowboys fans too. God love them. Yeah, 2 years. 2 years out of 30. Good luck. That was 2 years with Montana. They were shit. Look up their record between 1980 and 1993, and they were probably, their winning percentage might have been 350, maybe 400%, 40%, maybe. Check them out. They suck. So their fans suck. And we're just gonna, and Scoop, and I know Scoop's just giving me shit, and maybe he really likes the Chiefs.
Sam's just hating on all different fans now.
Yeah, and here's the thing: everybody thinks because I live in Missouri, because they're in Missouri, I should be a Chiefs fan. Nope, sorry, he's a new Chiefs fan. Oh, you're a new Chiefs fan? Okay, that's good. That's fine. And we have a fan. What do they call it in the UK? Bandwagon? They don't call it bandwagon. What do they call those? What are they?
Glory Hunter.
Glory Hunter. I like that better than bandwagon. Yeah, I know. I'm just giving them shit. Actually, you know what's funny is, didn't the Las Vegas team, didn't they hire Pete Carroll? The Raiders did. So I'm curious to see how that's going to go. Although he's kind of older, but yeah, they sucked. I mean, it's a shame. So I'm glad the Chiefs are good this year, and they're probably going to win a 3rd Super Bowl, which will be the first time, which is pretty incredible, that no team's ever three-peated a Super Bowl. They would be the first. If they win next week, they would be the first team ever to win 3 in a row. That's pretty cool. But their fans still suck. And
is it pretty cool? I don't like that.
I don't like it either, but I mean, I like records being broken, and it's kind of cool. So, I mean, good luck. I'm just saying, I don't like the Eagles that much. I'm not an Eagles fan. I don't hate them. I just don't care about them. And then the Chiefs, I wish I want them to lose just because it's like, man. It's
How was
all
the
the
teacher got
time.
into glory holes? What the hell?
Not to be confused with glory holes. I don't know. I have no idea. As far as sucky front offices, go Mavericks. FO sucks major. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the front office. I mean, and I don't know much about NBA basketball. We don't have a team in St. Louis. But anyway, so Joe, we got a few minutes. You had your new device. What was it? It was the Honor?
Yeah, so
Honor,
I've got the Magic 7 Pro. I've got that now. My SIM's in it.
Okay. So what do you think? What are your, I mean, how long has the SIM been in it? A couple days, maybe a week?
About 4 days. Five days. I'm really enjoying it. I'll tell you what I really like about it, straight off the cuff. The 3D face unlock, right, is fantastic. In the dark, unlocks my face. I'm not even really using the fingerprint scanner because it just unlocks every time, just bang. I know iPhone users are going to be like, "Oh, we're telling you all along."
Right. I guess since it's will it work for your banking apps? Does it authenticate for those? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
My banking app, authenticating passwords and stuff. It's bang on. It's so good. And as a lifestyle, like everyday use, it's such a great feature. But you do have the option with the fingerprint scanner as well if it's far from your face, and the fingerprint scanner is banging as well.
Right. So authentication of the phone seems like it's really good, right? It got you
really
covered.
good. Really good.
I guess what's the two issues always with Honor phones, right? As opposed to Vivo and Oppo was the camera quality, camera capability, and then software. So suite, right?
The camera is pretty decent actually. I need to test it way more. The only thing is, you can only do RAW with the main lens only, which that sucks. Why not give us RAW across all lenses? I don't know. So the Pro mode is only with the main lens. You can't change lens at all. Look, zoom not supported in RAW mode. What the hell? Ridiculous. So that sucks. And I will be feeding that back, definitely. Software, it's not terrible. I'm quite used to it now, having used the V3 for a while. So I'm quite used to it now. I don't think it's that bad. I think it gets poo-pooed on a bit too much. It does take getting used to, but it's quite good. I'm looking forward to, because with this phone I can claim the Honor Pad 2.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Which is decent. And they've got something called the Magic Ring, and you can use your phone, control your phone from your tab. I think Oppo do something similar to this.
Okay.
But you can transfer files and stuff like that. And it is a really nice ecosystem. So I'm looking forward to testing it out once I get the tab.
Yeah. So is that a Spigen case on your Honor? Is that what
no. Now this is one downside to having an Honor, and even in the UK. When I looked for cases, this was on Amazon though, there was no mainstream cases available. So I bought this
kind of a generic. It's a generic.
Generic, yeah. It does the job. I mean, it's quite nice, but it's probably not that well protected with it.
And so it's not a Spigen one. And then Peter's asking if you try to use Adobe Lightroom camera.
Adobe Lightroom camera? No, I never use that on any device, if I'm honest. But let's have a look. Does it work? Oh, yes, it does. Okay, I see where he's going with this. I don't think I can zoom. Oh, I can. Okay.
But so instead of using a stock camera, you should use Adobe Lightroom camera.
But I think it's zooming in from the main, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's zooming in from the main. I'll have to do some more testing.
Cool. Well,
I've never bothered to use that before, to be honest.
Yeah. See, look, I took my hand off to itch my head so you get the gloss.
Oh yeah. Does it feel really itchy?
No, it's actually just itchy around here. I don't know. I don't have a. Yeah, no, it's stuck. Hold on, I can't. I'm backwards. There it goes. I don't know. I can't see it. I don't know. There's supposed to be. I can't. I don't know if there's anything. I can't see it. It's on top of my head. It's just some stitches, not too much. It's not too bad. It doesn't hurt. The first day though, it felt like I felt like I had a headache. That's what kind of felt on my scalp. Right, it was really weird. But other than that, it's not too bad. Didn't bleed much at all, and they actually said that the removal was really pretty smooth. So hopefully they don't go back.
Are they the stitches that just dissolve after time?
So there's three, or I think there's probably 3 or 4 on the top, and then underneath inside there's like the dissolvable ones. So these will have to be removed in 2 weeks, but the ones in actually probably lower down the layer below.
That dissolve one, yeah.
Yeah, those all. And and I can tell Aditya, he'll know, he's a doctor. So I have pilar. They're called pilar cysts. They were on top of my head. They were underneath my scalp right here in the top center. They grew back after a couple years, and so I had them removed a second time. Hopefully they took them all out. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because Becky, I used to really cut my hair short. I don't know if you guys remember. I used to cut my own hair. I used it on a one guard, and I just, basically, I never buzzed it. I wasn't bald, but it was really, really short, like one guard. Just, and she told me that because of the bumps, she just didn't like the way it looked. And so the agreement was, if I had the cyst removed, because they're completely benign, like I could have left them there for my entire life, they would have never caused a problem.
Yeah, it wouldn't cause an issue. Yeah,
nothing. And so, but she said, in order if I was going to cut my hair short, or if he was going to maybe shave my head and go completely bald, like bald, that I'd have to get rid of the had to get rid of them. So I had to remove, and we'll see. So no, I didn't fall. I'm sleeping fine, no headaches, no blurry vision. I'm still unattractive. I did ask them to fix this while we were at the doctor's office. Can they kind of do something with my face? They couldn't do anything with my face. I was kind of stuck with this look. So
benign.
They just
they're benign.
Yeah. Right. So no, it was nothing serious. They're literally and the two and if you look them up, they're called pilar cysts. They're like absolutely benign. They don't cause any. Now they one grew kind of sort of. The other one was pretty good. It was almost like the size of almost like a lima bean. If you think about that as far as size, the one was actually one of those cysts were pretty decent, pretty decent size. The other one was a little smaller. So I just had the two. They removed them, so that's cool. Skinhead Sam was not on my 20. Well, guess what, Peter? You might actually have to.
Lima bean's quite big.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the one was pretty decently sized. The other one, so it's not skinhead.
So it was a beanhead.
Yeah, it's a beanhead. So yeah, it's not a skinhead thing, because in the United States that has a negative connotation. Skinheads.
It does in most places.
No, it's just I just like to cut my hair short, and I used to always, like I said, I cut my own hair. I saved on haircuts because it was just, I was okay with just going and just buzzing it. The problem is when you cut your hair almost to where the point is stubble, essentially, those two cysts really stuck out, and Becky just did not like the look. I didn't really particularly like it either. So it wasn't, but they're removed, so hopefully they won't grow back. Knock on wood. Or bamboo. I have a bamboo desk, and so that's it. So that's I had them done. So yeah, I mean, I'll let you know. Obviously, if I cut my hair like that, I'll let everybody on the show see it, and I might do it again. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It definitely won't be until the end of February, just because I gotta wait for it to all heal and stuff. So it's all good. I'm gonna give it a try. Jermaine's here. He's gaming. I agree. I was gaming right before I started this, Jermaine. So that's okay. I'm just glad you are here, Jermaine, and thank you so much for.
Jermaine's got a new toy to play with.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of new stuff. So go check out his channel again through Jermaine's lens. Awesome content, awesome guy, knows the stuffs, photography master. Scoop, we have a lot of good photography people between the Jermaine and Scoop and all those other folks. I mean, we got a lot of people who are really good at photography, and other people like Mac. Check those folks out. Cinnamon. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like cinnamon generally.
I liked it.
It's okay. Is it like really cinnamony? Like, is it like overpowered? Like, is it?
Not overpowering, no. But I mean, it's hard for me to say because I like cinnamon, so I enjoyed it.
I do okay. It's okay. I'm not a huge fan. Dude, I understand I try all sorts of stuff, but I would try it. I try darn near. I try any kind of these different kinds of sodas and flavored waters and stuff. I'll try anything once, but I don't know. Cinnamon is like, I don't know. I'm a hitter. It's hit or miss for me. I'd try it, but I probably wouldn't drink it.
I like it. You're not much of a pop fan, are you?
I don't drink a lot of soda. No, I used to as a kid. But I even drank a lot when I was younger. I used to when I was a kid. I loved Dr. Pepper. That was kind of my jam.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know. I knew you were going to go there. Of course. Are you being the new? Are you auditioning for a Aditya spot? I already take that shit from Aditya. So thank you. I'll try anything.
There's always room for more people to.
Oh look, they have a meth infused Coke. I'm in do it. No, not meth. I draw the line on meth. Maybe if they had like a weed one, like they have edibles and gummies, maybe. I unfortunately, it's still federally legal in the United States, so I can't. Even though it's legal in the United States, you can't.
You did put yourself into that one though, saying you.
I did walk into it. Yeah, that's fair. And I appreciate Peter keeping me on track because I did walk into that one. That's probably fair. That's okay. So anyway, so chances are we're probably not going to have a show unless Joe. We might talk about it midweek. Depends on how Saturday goes.
Yeah.
If not, he's going to be busy Sunday. Well, I'll be working. And so chances are we probably won't have a show next week. I don't have a guest. I'm going to try to reach out to a couple of people. I'd like to get Adam Dowd back on the show again. I'd like to get Adam Matlock back on the show. Shane Craig, Gary of Literal. I'd like to get a couple of people on the show, but the problem is they have a lot of work. They're busy. They travel a lot. They're creating content. And so it's hard to get those folks to have some time. I'd like to get some other people on the show. I'd like to have more guests just to interdisperse that because these are great conversations, but I also like to have other people.
No, it's good to
so
guests,
again, right. And again, like I always say with anything else, just because we're reaching out to those. Oh, Andrew. I did talk to Andrew. He was streaming the other day. He was playing this new game.
Yeah,
Captain,
he's been doing a lot more. He's been doing a lot more streaming recently, I've noticed.
It looked like a World War II kind of game. I can't remember what he was playing. I jumped on. I was watching for a minute, so we might have him on. Maybe not next Sunday, but the Sunday after next. So
yeah, Captain's always welcome.
Always have the captain on, and anybody else in the chat too. Remember, this is something that if you guys want to participate, hey, we are more than willing to have folks on. If you can find a few hours and carve some time out of your
Peter
Sunday.
On for a long time.
Yeah, we haven't had Peter on, so I know he's been busy with stuff.
Jermaine's long overdue. Overdue. Jermaine.
Right, we need to get Jermaine in. And he also was on the Tech Disruptors a couple weeks ago. So if you want to listen to Jermaine and you want to get your Jermaine fix on a show, go check out the Tech Disruptors. What's good is fix. They're going to be coming on, I think, right after this show. So it might be going on right now. So it gives you some time. So anyway, we check them out if you want to get Jermaine on a show. Listen to them. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and they started to have guests too. And Michael Peppertech, we need to hit him up as well. We love having Michael on. He's always great. Always provides great feedback and content and discussions. So yeah, we got lots of things going on. So hopefully, in the February, March timeframe, we're starting to get a little warmer here, and we're getting
feel good February.
Winter. Feel good February. That's right. No damp February, no dry January. Feel good February. We're gonna, FGF, right? Feel good February, #FGF, right? Feel good February. So hopefully you guys will have some good content. We'll bring it to you. We're gonna miss next Sunday probably, and probably next week. But rest assured, we'll have some more stuff. We'll have guests. And we always appreciate everybody stopping by on a Sunday. Thanks for coming in an hour earlier than normal. Also, feedback-wise, does this time slot work for you guys? I know for me it works okay. I know Joe, it's close because of family considerations, but usually I think she's...
No, 8 can work for me. Yeah, she goes to bed about 7.
We might move it up to 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and then that also too does two things. One, it gives... but it's not as late for a lot of folks. So especially for UK or people who are maybe an hour or two, like Aditya, I think is an hour ahead. So that's late. And also too is it doesn't bump up against the Tech Disruptors. I kind of don't.
Yeah, thanks Tech Disruptors.
Yeah. So 9's usually better for Josh. That's fine. But again, we can always adjust that. I'm just asking for the regular stream because I hate being at the same time slot as the Tech Disruptors because sometimes in perfect disclosure, Joe and I would like to be available to go on that show occasionally. I used to go on the Tech Disruptors before they had that. They had a Twitter space. This would kind of give us a chance to participate in that because there's a lot of times where Jason and Darren do a really good job and they have guests or whatever. It'd be nice to just jump on that. And then also we want to make sure that's a 2-hour block of our content and then them too. So they moved their slot to the same as ours. So trying to adjust to give everybody what they want. So if the 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock time slot is good, and obviously for Jimmy Fire Dragon, if we have him on the show again, we can move it back to the 3 o'clock slot to more accommodate him. That's cool because we always adjust for our guests. So anyway, so think about that. We can take some feedback if you want to put it on Twix or just let us know. But we maybe the Sunday after next, maybe we'll move to the 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock time slot and just an hour ahead, same Sunday, just 1 hour ahead. If that seems to work, everybody, that's cool. And we'll just go from that. If Joe's okay, I'm okay with that, and go with a 2:00 time slot. And so that
it works for me. It does work for me.
So anyway, we'll hit everybody up, and we'll try to schedule some stuff up. Mike, I'll reach out to you and everybody else, and so hopefully we can get our bookings for February and March done, and get some good quality content. Bring some of our favorite people in here to help kind of good content of the show. Keep you guys interested, and give you guys delivering some good stuff to listen to for your week. So. Well, that's about it. We're at 1 hour, 15 minutes on the show, so we went over a little longer than I expected, but it was always good. Joe's hair is great, as always. He's wearing it.
And he's cutting.
He's a little cut. He's a little deep. It's getting a little kind of substantial on the top of his head. He needs to.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but it looks good.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, it looks good. And obviously, hopefully, maybe next time won't have to wear a hat. We'll see how it goes. I won't have as nice hair as Joe. I've never let my hair go that long. Just so we're all clear, it's never going to look like that.
I've done a poll on our MeWe.
Okay, do a poll on MeWe. If folks get on MeWe, and including me, I need to be on MeWe. So check that out and let us know, because if everybody's okay with that, we might our first show. So that would be Sunday. The next show would probably be scheduled would be Sunday the 16th of February. That show will probably, as it stands right now, unless I hear anything otherwise, that show will go off at 2:00, 8:00. 8 GMT. So unless everybody has an issue with that, that's cool. And obviously, remember, we have guests on. That's always adjusting, including a different day, even depending on the guest. So we're always willing to compromise and adjust for our guests, because they're not getting compensated to come on the show. So the least we can do is try to make it convenient for them. So and that's it.
We've done a poll.
All right, we got a poll. If you go to MeWe, we'll put the link. I'll actually put the poll in the show notes for this show. I'll put the link to the poll. Joe can prove that to me, and I'll put it in the poll, and then you can log in
on our MeWe.
On our MeWe. So check that out, and let us know if you're okay with the 8:00 time slot. Or you can also check us out on Twix if you are so desired, or on this show. Remember, this is on YouTube, so there will be a comment section. You all can access YouTube, I'm pretty sure. Put a comment on there. I don't know how to set up polls on YouTube comments. I don't give a shit, and I'm not going to do all that work, because honestly, I don't care that much to set it up. So you can make a comment on the YouTube channel as well. So you got a couple different vectors of shows. Just let us know if a 2:00, 8:00 works for everybody. Hopefully, again, I want to make sure that folks can participate in the live chat, because I really do enjoy it. Joe and I really like having you guys here. So
yeah, it's important to us to.
Yeah, we want to make sure we give you what you want. Since, in fact, we can't pay you guys to listen to the show, and you guys are just doing it for love of the game. We try to make it enjoyable. So, I mean, if we can, I just want to make sure that the time slot is so off-putting that people won't participate in the live stream, because that wouldn't be good for us. We don't want to do that. Anyway, so that's it. Joe, any final closing thoughts? We'll let you know more about his honor, but so far he's liking it, folks. So,
yep,
we'll see.
Look out for some more honor magic from me.
Absolutely, some more content on his channel. All right. So, Joe, make sure we drive some people to his channel. Screen on time. Make sure you check that channel out. There's
I'm looking to be more active this year. It won't be hard, because I wasn't very active last year.
Right. So we're trying to get some activity for Joe and get him on that. And stay hydrated. Get some. Get some water. Make sure you do all that. Also, check out your other creators. Make sure you give them some love and support, and let them know you care, and they're doing a lot of good work out here. So. And for myself and for Joe, thanks for listening to the Nomad Tech Project live stream. Make sure you download it. I will actually try to have this posted maybe today, possibly tomorrow. I don't know. But you have 2 new shows to listen to. That's the solo show with Scoop. Again, long show, but please give it a listen. If you're into photography, you will do yourself a favor. You want to listen to that show. And then last week's show with Barry Johnson, I did a great show. Barry Johnson shows at 98 listens. So if I can get we haven't had a show actually on podcast that shows 100 listens. I haven't cracked. His is close. He's got the record now. So check that out. Listen to the Barry show. That's another good show. And then also we'll have this one as well. Again, next Sunday we'll not be having a show. So check that out. And also make sure tomorrow you check out if you're available. The Juan streams at 11 p.m. My local time. So, make sure you check out Juan's stream as well. And absolutely. And Sunday you should come back.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
So enjoy your tech. Don't be a dick. Skin your shit.
Skin your shit. Yeah. Do that.
Yeah. Skin your shit. Don't be a dick. And then come back next Sunday. So So that'd be the 16th. And check it out. We'll
A
be
week
here
on Sunday.
A week on Sunday. That's a good way to put it. I did that. So anyway, next Sunday, or next Sunday, or 2 weeks, 2 Sundays from now. Right. So check us out on the 16th, 2 p.m. That's what we're going to go off on. And we'll have a good time. Hopefully have a guest. I think it'll probably be Andrew. I didn't confirm that. And then all the rest of the people here. And you bring Jermaine because he's already a dick. Well, quit being a dick. Try not to be a mean guy. Just be a nice person. You can be an asshole to the general public.
Is that Dutch for something else, though?
I have no idea what's going on. That's the Dutch. They do their own thing there. They get their own country and everything, so it's cool. All right. So for myself, for Joe, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next Sunday on the Nomad Tech Project. 2 Sundays from now on the 16th, 2 o'clock. Hope to have guests. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Hydrate. We'll see you next Sunday. Peace. Take care, everybody. Love you guys.
Bye-bye.